On the NFL game on Fox, Trump decided to pay a visit and go to the game. And he hung out with announcers Kenny Albert. I don't know who the other guy was, but Kenny Albert, who of course is a great sportscaster, great NFL play-by-play guy, son of the legendary Marv Albert. Jonathan Vilma was I guess the other guy in the booth, former New York Jet. Man, what are the Jets? Are the Jets 0-20 this year already? Holy cow, they can't get a break. And the Giants losing in a big come from being not a good day for New York sports teams yesterday. And I'm in New York. Still grateful that I made it to my destination this morning as a result of my Uber ride. If you want to check out my Uber ride this morning into our studios here in Lower Manhattan, follow me on X at Gallagher Show and check out what I shared with the world about my Uber driver. It was a little touch and go there for a bit. I was a little nervous. It was the longest Uber ride of my life. But you can just check it out at X. Feel free to make a comment. But I got here safe and sound. We're here for one more day. I had an event yesterday in New York after our big event Saturday in Chicago. What a glorious time we had at the Freedom Summit with Scott Jennings and Ben Carson and Sean Thompson and Dan Proft. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But look, here's Trump yesterday. Cut number one. Here he is in the booth. He goes up to the NFL, the Fox broadcast booth, and you know the Trump haters are losing their mind over this. They don't want him, they use the word normalize. What was it Jimmy Fallon that mussed his hair years ago? And the left went after Jimmy Fallon? How dare you make him look normal and fun and friendly? You know, whether you hate the guy or not, or love the guy, he's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. He is fun. He is playful. And he is, I wouldn't call him normal. I mean, he's not a radical lunatic. Here he was in the broadcast booth yesterday, the NFL on Fox.
So Ronald Reagan, well before becoming president, he was a sportscaster.
That's
he called Big Ten football. He called Iowa football games. Would you like to call a play?
Well, I would like to do that if you'd like me to, but I will say that your second string, your backup quarterback is a good quarterback, and he's had some very good games for you, and your first string quarterback has the potential, I think, to be a great quarterback. He's got to stop the injuries somehow. And let's see, we have a very important, I think this is a very important couple of plays.
Here we go. Second and 7.
Yeah, 2nd and 7. Let's see what happens. Whoa.
That's
all right.
Krosky Merritt.
Not bad.
Takes it down to the 5-yard line.
That's right. That's right. Good runner.
There we go.
This is a very big play, don't you think?
I think
they have to get a touchdown. Let's put it differently. They just have to get a touchdown.
There we go. Now you're doing my job, because that's what I was going to say. They have to get a touchdown.
Just forget about the play. They have to get a touchdown.
So you've done my job, now you've done his job.
Right.
I mean, it was such a great moment. And it's like, that's the way it's supposed to be. He is the president of the United States. And he is playful, and he does have fun. And the left is losing its mind. And look, I'm not a vindictive person. I don't want them to lose their mind. I want them to relax. You know, I heard from somebody over the weekend who's a Democrat, completely convinced that the Supreme Court was going to overturn same-sex marriage today. They were going to take the case, the Kim Davis appeal, the Kentucky court clerk. And the Supreme Court, without comment, rejected the appeal. Obergefell is not going to be overturned. Gay marriage is here to stay. And this person was frantic and worried for nothing. People are panicking, and people are in histrionics. Look, most Americans approve of mass deportation. You can't be here illegally. I saw another statistic yesterday, another month with not one single illegal border crossing. There's zero. The border is secure. He did that. Now, there's work to be done. We got to be mindful of the affordability issue that people are so concerned about. And they ought to be. And they ought to be. But ultimately, we've just got to take a big deep breath and gravitate towards normalcy. To Trump in the booth last night at the NFL game. Here's cut number 2. This is hysterical. Here's Trump in the booth. Actually, they scored a touchdown while he was in the broadcast booth for Fox.
Which is a record, so we're doing great, just like they have to do great right now.
4th and short.
Let's see what happens.
On 4th down, Mariota throws to the end zone. Touchdown.
Just like he dialed it up.
Samuel.
See, that was very important. Got a little ways to go yet, but still, that was very important. Now your ratings have gone up because there's hope.
I know you love ratings.
I love ratings. You got to have ratings. Well, you guys have the ratings too.
That's hysterical. He scored a touchdown while he's in the booth. He said, now your ratings are going up because Trump's in the booth and the team scores a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Guy's as sharp as a tack, right? Wonder if he takes think factor. Life moves fast. Look, if you get called into the broadcast booth, you can't just be up there and go, ooh, 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 ooh. You got to actually call the plays. As the host of the Tiger Tailgate Show, I also was the sideline reporter, and I would fill at halftime. And one Saturday afternoon in Death Valley, Jim Phillips, the legendary play-by-play man who's since passed away, and he was a dear friend, Jim was being honored by the Clemson Hall of Fame, and he had to go down on the field to accept the honor. Well, getting from the booth down to the field at Clemson, Death Valley, Frank Howard Stadium is huge. You got 80,000, 100,000 people on a Saturday. He goes down to get the award at halftime. I'm only supposed to fill until he comes back up to the booth to start the second half. Well, he can't get back in time. He's being mobbed and he can't get to the elevator. I mean, he was ticked. But the second half started. So I'm sitting there with the headphones on, and I got to call the plays. Now, I don't know how to call a play. I'm not a play-by-play announcer any more than President Trump is. You could kind of tell President Trump that wasn't exactly in his wheelhouse. Well, me either. Now, get this. I'm up there, and the guy next to me, I think his name was Mike Epps, I'll never forget this, on the kickoff, they started the second half. Do you know that whoever it was that received the kickoff ran it like 90 yards back for a touchdown? And I'm the one doing the stupid play-by-play. Here's what I did. I'm not kidding you. There's the kickoff. Ball's being received. There, there he goes. I just started grunting and making noises like animal noises. I didn't explain to the audience what was happening. I didn't even tell it's a radio audience. And I don't explain to them that, number 27, ties, whatever his name was. I'm going, the poor color guy is looking over at me. The color commentator, his eyes are as wide as saucers because he's looking at me like, you moron, are you going to say anything? When Jim Phillips finally burst into that, and he could hear it because they played the radio broadcast over this, the PA system in the stadium, like in the elevators and stuff. He heard what a disaster it was. He burst into that thing. He said, Gallagher, get out of here. He took the hit. So he was so mad. But yeah, that was my illustrious debut as a play-by-play announcer. Not my finest hour.